Hey, good morning, folks. Welcome back, Open Pagan Church. Well, this is our first live feed on Open Pagan Church in YouTube. So we are still getting used to some of the settings. So if I seem a little distracted, it's because I'm making sure everything is working correctly. Just checking with my gang over in Discord. Good morning, Discord.
Good morning. Very good. That's better.
All right. Um, the page appears to be locked up on my side. Is it still showing through clear on y'all's?
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Yeah, I'm getting recording.
I can see you just fine. I can hear you fine.
all right. Great. Well, I can't see the chat and I can't see the video because the page appears to be locked up on my side. It keeps saying page not responding. Wait or end page. I keep telling it to wait because I damn sure don't want to end the live video feed. We got the damn thing working. So, let's see here.
They're like,
You've got a serious lag issue, and I'm hearing an echo.
Everybody else hearing an echo?
no.
Nope. On Discord it's fine, but there
What
is
about
lag
on YouTube?
between YouTube and Discord.
Well, if you've got YouTube up and Discord up on audio, you will hear an echo. Okay, so I guess if we're live streaming, then let's rock and roll. All right, folks. Um,
I've got you muted on Discord so that it quits echoing.
okay. All right. Good. Um, so if anybody sees anybody post in the chat feed,
Morning, Deb.
let
I
me
just,
know.
I did. Deb says morning.
Ah, good morning. So yeah, like I say, I cannot see the chat feed. Let me see if I can
Open another web page and do it that way.
say again.
Open another web page on one of your other monitors and put it there.
Well, that would be entirely too damned easy, wouldn't it?
Uh-huh. It's good afternoon, Debbie.
Ah, well, yeah. Good
Put
afternoon. Yep, yep, yep.
it there.
All right. So I don't need to see the video. I just need to see the chat. Well, looky there. I can see the chat. Good
There
idea,
you go.
Cindy. Thank you very much.
It's so much fun to have multiple screens.
Oh, I would die without multiple screens.
Yeah,
Multiple screens.
me too. I'm fixing to get a I'm fixing to get a third one.
So Clint says, "Yep, I can now see the chat." There you go. All right. So a little information for you guys. Um, we have joined Streamlabs, which you may notice in the feed. There's a little donations rail to show where our donations are, and if you hear a bading or a badong during the video, then you'll know that somebody clicked follow somewhere. All right. So we're getting there. You know, we've um, Open Pagan Church, House of Pagans has been around since 1999. We inaugurated it in 2000. We started Open Pagan Church, what guys, 6, 7 years, 8 years ago now?
Like that. Oh yeah.
Yep, they're about. Live streaming is the way to go, especially in 2020.
Eh, it's almost over. Let's start a new year.
It is. It is. Um, well, our topic today, without ado, is natural ability versus learned ability. Thank you, Sabz, for this topic. Benz, it is your topic, my dear lady. Have at it. What brought this topic up for you? What you got on your mind?
You're welcome. Okay, so I've been a practicing pagan, witch, whatever you want to call me, since I was about 12 years old. I started learning about. I started out with Wicca, and moved into other things, and I noticed that I have more of a natural ability and instead of the learned ability.
Okay. So what have you and Sabs? I know you're got a little lag going there.
It's weird hearing
Um,
my own voice. Sorry.
you're fine.
Um, Natural ability versus learned ability. Okay, so I have a natural ability to.
Hey, Sabs, you might want to switch that around to hear Discord instead of YouTube.
Yeah,
Okay.
YouTube's got a hell of a lag. That way you
Okay,
can. That
that's
way
better.
when we say something, you can instantaneously hear what's going on.
Right, so I don't have to listen to my own voice on lag.
Yep.
This is why I don't do streaming very often. Um, okay, so natural ability. I noticed that I have a way of approaching certain situations. Like, say, I convinced my husband to buy my boyfriend a car and used natural convincing ability versus negotiation ability. Negotiation ability is a learned ability. You do have to have some sort of natural talent to be able to negotiate, but negotiation is one of those ones that you can learn. Natural ability would be like, say, changing the weather when your mood changes, or um, being able to do certain things naturally instead of learning how to do, say, basic ritual.
Yeah, let me tell you, I learned a long time ago not to do weather magic.
Okay, I just got corrected. I didn't like convince my husband to buy my boyfriend a car. I convinced him to co-sign, and my boyfriend's paying all the notes and everything on it because
All right.
it's my boyfriend's car.
Well, that was nice.
So, um, I completely forgot to write down my notes. So give me a minute. I'm being scatterbrained today. Um,
Debbie says nothing wrong with tweaking the weather. And no.
well, okay, I have a story behind that one. I know that we have members that are in Louisiana, and I'm sorry that everything that, like, all the storms that have hit you
Oh
guys
man.
recently. Um, I was dating a guy that was living in Lake Charles, and he completely ghosted on me, and, well, weather magic is one of my things. I didn't mean for it all to happen. I only wanted one hurricane to hit just to put him in his place. But it just kind of happened.
Well, see, here's the question I have, and it's a question to keep the conversation going more or less because we could probably in about 90 seconds sum up the difference between natural ability and learned ability. But the thing of it is, and you hit it on the head a while ago, you have to have some kind of natural ability to understand what you're learning, right?
Exactly.
Well, let me ask you this, and playing the devil's advocate here, being pagan don't even believe in the devil, but hey, it's a good phrase.
Lol.
It's always been my opinion that everyone that I have ever met has many, many different forms of natural ability. Just at some point in their childhood or some point in their young adulthood, it got switched off. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, just like I didn't know I was a pagan or a shaman witch, whatever you want to call me,
Whatever.
until I met you. I mean, I was what, 40 something years old? It didn't get woke up until after that.
Well, see, and Debbie being a shaman as well, she and I both have kind of agreed wholeheartedly on this situation. She said what pisses me off is the dismissive attitude of those whose book learned and those of us who are spirit taught.
Oh, you're so right on that.
All right. So, Spaz, what are your continued thoughts on natural ability versus learned ability?
Again, I'm sitting here without my notes. Um,
I put you on the spot, girl.
yeah, I know, and I knew that I had to give some sort of presentation today, and just with everything that's been going on here at my house, it's just I'm a little frazzled. That and I'm still half asleep, haven't had any coffee. Uh,
What the hell?
But your
yeah, I
coffee.
just woke up. Um,
Anyway, I'll take, just go get your coffee for a minute. Can you do that?
yeah, I'll go start my coffee. I'll
Yeah,
be right back.
while she's doing that, Cindy, let me read what Debbie wrote. She says, I'd been doing things all my life, but until I met Don, I really didn't know, what it was all called. She said, once I had a name for it, I started to read and try learning by listening internally and externally. And that's a real good point. And see, I'm somewhat of the same way. Um, Back in the early 90s, when I was like, I've got all of this crap that I can do. I have all of these emotions and feelings, and I can, you know, feel things that are going on. I communicate well with animals. I seem to just know, if you will, what people need when I'm talking to them, but I had absolutely no idea what the hell it was all called. Well, believe it or not, um, a Christian preacher that I really liked at the time, he and I communicated a lot. His sister was following Wicca. Now go figure. So after many conversations, he took me to dinner off a church property away from church. He said, okay, this is me and you talking here, right? I said, okay. He said, if you ever tell anybody in the church I told you this, I'll call you a liar. I said, well, okay, fair enough. And he said, everything we've talked about, all of your abilities, everything you can do, he said, I don't know what path you will be. He said, but my sister is Wicca. I said, okay. I didn't know what the hell he was talking about. I had never studied it or looked it up or nothing. He said, look up paganism. Really? So I started searching out groups, and this was when the internet was in its infancy, um, online. You know, um, and the internet was in its infancy online, and so I started looking up different groups, and I stumbled onto a group where I met a woman up north, very nice lady, um, and she and I got to chatting. And then one day she said, okay, look, she said, I really hate typing. She said, do you mind if I call your cell phone? Well, by this time, it was in the late 90s, 98, 99, and I had my first cell phone. I said, sure. I just got this thing a couple of months ago. Let's give it a go. And I was paying for minutes.
Ew.
I remember those days.
Yeah, that phone call cost me $50, but it was well worth it. It was probably the best $50 I ever spent. Um, but she explained a lot to me, and she was the one that explained a lot of the terms and a lot of the words that I needed to look up. And she said, now, I'm not going to tell you what this means. I'm going to send you an email with the terms and the words and the different phrases. And she said, the way you're going to learn is you're going to look them up. Well, she was probably about 15 years older than I am, so I don't even know if she's still alive. I don't think she is. But then I started meeting people and started learning. So I think a natural ability needs to become and corresponded with, if I'm saying this right, learned abilities. Does that make any sense? What do y'all think about that?
On the abilities of learning and natural.
Well, yeah, I mean, what do y'all think about what I just said? Where, we've got all these natural abilities, and humans are born with a boatload of natural abilities as kids. And through the years, that gets switched off depending on your environment.
Right. Well,
Okay.
my opinion is, like you said, the younger generation or the babies. Well, for instance, okay, the pagan family. When the children are born into the family, they start early with the rituals and the teachings and everything. And I think they're a stronger person with the abilities that they learn. And it's like in the Christian faith, if they start early, they have their beliefs and everything. But the pagan family, I guess, start early with them and they learn more. If even like I was done late, I try and pick up a book now to start learning more, and it's all jumbly. They won't let me learn from book. I'm doing it all spiritual now.
Okay. Um, Sabs,
I'm here.
what's your input?
Um, Still having foggy brain. Um, Give me a minute. Let me recollect my thoughts.
Yeah, no problem. Clint, Lester, anybody else have anything they want to put in um, on the topic?
Like you said, the natural ability is born into you, it's always there. And then as you grow older, it gets programmed out. I've always been able to do the stuff like talking to animals and all that, but I didn't realize what I was in that my capabilities until I came to Circle.
I'm afraid I stepped into a room late. I don't even know what topic is.
Natural ability versus learned ability, Lester. You were around when I was going through my growing pains.
Oh yeah.
And I know Lester has a boatload of natural abilities that he's learned. He was instrumental in kind of kicking me in the ass to keep me on the straight and narrow, as it were.
Yep. I tried.
How'd that work out for you, bro?
I always succeed, but I tried.
Well, when it all comes down to it, it's all down to knowledge versus education. And knowledge I see as life learned experiences. Uh, Knowledge to me are things that you've learned that other people have, that you've heard other people talk about, not necessarily sit you down as a student and educate you. That becomes education. Books that you read are education. When you have a teacher, that's education. But knowledge is life experiences. Well, when you combine those life experiences and those natural abilities with your education, that breeds wisdom. And the wisdom is the understanding of combining that knowledge and that education to be where you need to be, and understanding that it's okay to be nudged into a bookstore or to be nudged in one location or the other to be where you need to be at the time that you get there. Does that make any sense?
Yep.
Yes.
Makes sense to me.
And I my heart goes out to the people in Nashville. Um, some twit brains set off a RV bomb in downtown Nashville, right next to the AT&T building.
When
Nobody.
this happened?
A
Christmas
couple
Day.
of days ago,
Christmas Day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
they actually
Guess I
found the
won't watch the
charred.
news.
They actually found the charred remains of a person near
In
the RV.
the RV. Yeah.
Oh
Well,
yeah, yeah.
the place I was going to kind of go with that is on the news brief. I had to work Christmas morning, so I had the news on. And on the news brief, one of the guys was like, I had left my apartment about 30 minutes, I think he said, before the bomb went off to take my dog for the walk. He said, by the time I walked around the block and came back and was standing there talking to an officer that had the roadway cordoned off, the bomb went off. He said, now the funny thing is, he said, I always take my dog for a walk later rather than earlier. And he said, I got up this morning, had my coffee, and took my dog for a walk. So it's always been interesting to me how those of us that listen, right, manage to be in the right place at the right time. Though not always. Sometimes we don't listen and we're in the right place at the wrong time. But
And
have, huh?
I was gonna say, and then there's some of us that are in the wrong place at the right time.
Yes. Yeah, and but yeah, I need more coffee.
You and me both.
So, and Debbie made a good point earlier about book learned pagans or book learned Christians or strictly book learned any religious philosophy. I'm of the mind that if you're only a book learned anything and you don't feel it, it's not a part of you, it's not a part of who you are, you tend to become full of shit real quick. What do y'all think?
Well, we've seen many of those through our years at the circle.
Oh, yeah, we have. Yeah, we have.
I'm a white lighter.
Yeah, well,
But anyway,
that was
uh,
an interesting conversation with that young man.
that was. So, natural learning and book learning. Like you used to tell us, we can have all the book learning we want until we put the wisdom and knowledge together to make it work.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Too many people pick up a Cunningham book and call themselves a witch.
right,
Yeah,
right,
right.
yeah. And Debbie was asking, was he in the TV industry? It's like, no, he just absolutely loved the TV show Charmed, and suddenly decided he was a white lighter. Well, my first question was, show me orb. Go from here to over there. I said, if you
Hey,
can orb, I will get down on one knee and call you master, and by God, you can teach me.
he crawfished really quick.
He never came back. And Debbie says book learning is okay if you're using it as a basis. Absolutely. I think that's the whole point of the topic today. You know, if you're only book learned, like Lester said, that's you pick up a book on Wicca and you spend a couple of nights reading it or a couple of weeks reading it, whatever. I never could get past the first page. But all of a sudden you wake up one morning and, you're a high priest. Dun dun dun.
Dum dum dum.
Now,
Anybody?
see, I've been studying everything I can since I was 12. Um, being 34, almost 35 in like 2 weeks. Um, I have had more naturally learned abilities than I have from book learning.
Absolutely.
I've come into my power. I've been practicing with my power. I've been working with my power. I've been controlling my power. That all came to me naturally. Now, what I have to go and learn is the other aspects. Like right now, I'm sitting here looking at an herbology course. I have books on herbs. I have books on crystals. I have books on just about any subject. But what I feel that I have absorbed more information from just studying something. Like I find a pretty rock. I want to study it. I want to learn about it. I want to obtain the message that it has for me is for the reason why I was so interested in it.
Right.
But at the same time, I know like with certain things I've absorbed from my natural ability versus what I've learned from my learned ability, they're two completely different things. It's like being able to feel something is more, I guess, natural than it is for me to read something to explain it.
Right. And That brings up a really good point. As a shaman, my students have always looked at me mildly cross-eyed when I give them their reading list, and I tell them, for the first 6 months that I am your teacher, I do not want you to pick up a single book on shamanism. And they're like, how the hell am I going to learn? I said, here's where we weed out the natural shamans versus the book learned shamans that just simply want to quote from a book instead of quoting from their heart. The reading list that I have for my shaman students has nothing to do with shamanism and everything to do with self and perception. Because a good 50% of everything a shaman does is perception of their environment, their client, and the people they're working with, right? So if you've learned and you can learn how to build on your natural abilities as a shaman, as a witch, as a druid, fae, whatever, then once you've learned to align with those natural abilities, while you're going through your learning, if you have a teacher, your teacher's going to give you the terms for what you're doing. Your teacher's going to say, okay, you know, look this up and come back to me with what you find, but I want to know your interpretation of what you read, what you hear, and what you're learning, right? So I think a lot of it comes down to I didn't have a teacher. Um, my teachers were spirit, and my teachers were all of my friends that were around me, listening to the things that they're going through, what they're talking about, aligning those conversations with the things that I'm feeling and experiencing as a shaman. This is definitely not a shaman channel. This is open pagan church. But case come to point, um, Sabz, you're a witch, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Naturally.
Huh?
I said naturally.
Yeah. And I mean, there are those. Sabz, you were raised in it, right? If I'm not mistaken.
No, sir, I was not. My mother was a non-denominational Christian, and my dad was a atheist.
That's right. But still,
My dad, not my father. These are my adoptive parents that actually raised me. My father, on the other hand, has natural ability to fry electronics by touching them, like the wrong way.
yeah, I know somebody else that can pick up an electronics when she's in a pissy mood and fry it.
Yeah, I don't know who that would have been.
Um, I have found it a lot easier to work with people that are raised in a one open-minded family, right? And are a family that is of multiple religious persuasions. Um, and when we get into these multiple religious persuasion families where the families, now these are very rare, but where the family is open minded, right? Um, I've seen families where one of the spouses,
God bless you.
yeah, yeah, um,
Yeah, that was like
where you've got a family where one of the spouses, like Shabs was saying, one of the spouses is atheist, one of the spouses is Christian or non-denominational Christian, whatever. And then you may have a family where one of the spouses is Jewish and the other spouse is Christian. those are interesting families. I've only ever seen one of those.
My my adoptive dad's mother's side of the family has Jewish in them. The rest of them were Christian. And I thought it was funny when we all get together, they'd all start talking about theology, and I'm sitting there going, okay, I don't
Right?
want to talk about this. Let's stop. So I get up and go in the other room.
And it's like Debbie says. She says I had a human teacher. After 3 months, he disappeared, and 6 months after that, reappeared, stating he wasn't shaman and he was now Wicca. That irritates the hell out of me. Don't
You went
call
on a
you, huh?
course. You
Huh?
took a crash course.
Yeah, I guess so. Um, Deb says, now Deb's parents were absolutely amazing. I loved them. I was kind of one of their adopted kids. Um, Absolutely loved them to death. She says, my parents were Christian. She said, mom more than dad, but they never forced religion on me, meaning her. And yeah, she says she was lucky. Um, they were cool people. She said, mom had a spirit guide whom she spoke to regularly. Dad was a faith healer. Yes, absolutely. Dad walk up, touch you on the back, you just feel better. He just had that energy, where you feel better. Um,
Good.
Clint says, this holds true for much, of all paths, but learned abilities help against the natural abilities. Help, huh? Help learned against help. Yeah, when
Well,
you go ahead.
add to them because book learning, like you were giving us when we started out, they helped us open our eyes and our paths inside of us before the outside started.
Yep, yep, yep. And of course, Davy says we won't talk about our hardline Christian brothers and sister-in-laws.
No, 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 no.
Shut up, Don. So, so where do we go from here? Let's say we have, let's say we have people coming in and taking a look at the Open Pagan Church channel, and I like to see us as a open channel. Okay, those of you that might be watching our broadcast for the first time, understand that you don't have to be pagan to join our channel. You don't have to be pagan to input your thoughts and ideas. We don't even care if you're atheist or Christian or Jewish or Muslim or whatever. Be who you are. The only thing we ask in our channel is that you be respectful. Be respectful of those who are speaking in Discord, and be respectful for sure of those who are in the chat area typing in their stories and what's going on with them. And we do monitor this chat area. I get an email every time somebody posts. But the case in point is whether you are atheist or a spiritual individual of one path or another, as a human being, you're going to have certain natural abilities. You may have done them your whole life and just not known what the hell you were doing. I think um, most of us in the chat here on the live feed are that way. You suddenly find out you can do something, and then it's like, what the hell did I just do? Then you want to start researching. And guys, I'll tell you this: when you're researching, and I think everybody will agree with me on this. When you're researching things that you're feeling, do not ever take one website's information as the gospel. Don't ever take the first thing you read or listen to with the day of YouTube here. Don't ever take that as concrete. I mean, we at Open Pagan Church, we tell you all the time, if we're saying something, we're talking about a topic, or we're debating over a particular situation, ask questions. And if one of us, any of us, tell you something, research it. See what it means for you. Right, guys?
Definitely.
Definitely.
Research like crazy and find your answer by all the research that you get together and it feels right for you.
Absolutely. And something else that might help you, when you're researching things and you find somebody that you're comfortable with to answer these questions for you and help you understand them, feel free to reach out to any one of us. Um, we're on Facebook. You can hashtag Open Pagan Church on Facebook, and there it is. And you can PM any one of us and say, okay, look, I heard you speaking in Open Pagan Church Live, and I wanted to know your opinion on this, that, or the other. Any one of us will be happy to come back and reply to you, I'm sure. Especially those of us that are in Discord.
Well, I had that happen the other day. The fairy lady, I can't remember her name, the one that posts on her page, she had a topic that we talked about, and I think she's going to start posting our broadcast on her webpage again.
Oh, right, I remember that. Um, and Debbie makes a good point. She says she started doing things when she was 8. Um, I don't remember what age I was when I started. All I know is when I started communicating with horses, it scared the hell out of me. But I
That's
know,
what.
huh?
That's like Vashti is our, I guess, his stepdaughter. I mean, his daughter has an 8-year-old, like you said, and he talks to dragons. And she didn't understand it. Well, she came to Paul and asked him about it. And next thing you know, she understood, don't hinder the young ones on their abilities.
Absolutely, absolutely. If and see, here's something else. And Cindy, that's a good point. When you have a child, children have the untainted eyes and sight of something that I wish I had never lost. I mean, of course, sitting here at almost 60 at the time of this video, I don't remember the things I saw as a child, really. Some might, and my hat's off to you. But do not hinder, like Cindy said, Paul said, don't hinder a child and their quote invisible friends unquote. Now, in retrospect, okay, in retrospect, if your child starts exhibiting dangerous tendencies, or the voices in their head are telling them to do damaging things to harm themselves or others, absolutely get them checked out. But don't squash their invisible friends, quote unquote. Let them have those childhood fantasies and listen to them. Your child might have a piece of information for you that you're not listening to. Just a thought. Um, Debbie says, I never spoke of what I could do until one day on holiday I sniffed the air in the car and announced that we'd be having fish and chips for supper that night. We were on holiday at a B&B. She said, Mom and Dad were gobsmacked when we did indeed have fish and chips. Now, here's a little fun question. Did you plant a subliminal message in your parents' head that you decided we were going to have fish and chips? Or did you actually see what they were already thinking of having fish and chips for dinner? That's a kind of
Right?
an interesting question. Go
Something
ahead.
on that. I got something on that. My dad, even though he was a cowboy Christian, he was also a shaman. Never embraced it, never thought about it or anything like that. But he could tell you something that was going to happen, and this is what was going to need to be done to be fixing it before the sucker even happened. I had something he told me 2.5 years down the road it happened, and I had to fix it.
That's interesting.
I used to hate
My
that with
best
him.
my best friend and I can be sitting at complete opposite ends of the house, and I could think something, and I'd get a text message of, I'd sit here and think that, I'm hungry. A couple of seconds later, he'll ask me, "Well, what are you hungry for?" And I never say a word. I just think it. Or it's like, "I want to go on an adventure,"
That's
and he
like,
asks me, "Well, where do you want to go?"
yep, that's the same way with me and Paul. We make it to the whole, we can finish our sentences.
Yeah, the
Oh, what's really fun is with Tammy, I can carry a whole conversation on before she even thinks it and have it done before she says anything.
yeah.
But
And then, of course, we all have our prophetic dreams every once in a while, right?
Oh yeah. Prophetic dreams would actually be a really good topic. I just happen to feel like a prophetic dreams topic would have to be very, very careful not to fall into the adult topic conversation.
Well, we can save that discussion for just Discord. We don't have to use it as a church topic.
Well,
but
some,
but but but
but,
But, yeah, that's exactly what we're trying to avoid there, Cindy.
well,
and
one of the things I've been thinking about too, and you guys kind of think about this and mull it over, and you guys that watch our channel, even the pre-recorded channel, I've been thinking about doing a open topic. Um, Damn, now I lost the word. It's
An
uh,
open topic forum?
yeah, but it would have to be on a non-video. Um, Damn, I lost the word. Where it's like a talk radio, but it's a
Podcast?
podcast. Thank you.
You're
Um,
welcome.
yeah, I've thought about doing like
Natural
a.
ability, sorry.
Hey, wrap it up, girl. Rock on. Um, yeah, Debbie says her first prophetic dream experience was about a bowl of peas. Um, do I even want to ask what that come out meaning?
I'm
family.
thinking maybe she's eating a bowl of Clint and Cindy's peace salad, maybe?
Hey, man, yep, a bowl of peas.
That pea salad is the bomb. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't like pea
No,
salad, so there
no,
you go.
no, you haven't tried Clint's.
Deb says it was literal. It was literal, a prophetic dream of eating bowl of. Now, I have had prophetic dreams of like going to Sonic. Oh my God, I love Sonic. And if you're not in America and you've never been to America, you probably don't know what Sonic Drive-In is. But, oh, supersonic bacon cheese jalapeno burger with chili cheese French fries. Ooh.
Change the
Sounds great.
fries to tots and add extra cheese to it. Oh my god.
Your wiener, schnitzel, chili cheese dog, and chili cheese fries.
Okay, so I am definitely going to have to, when I get off of here, go find me some breakfast. Um, of course, being diagnosed with diabetic, I'm going to have to watch what I eat. Otherwise, I'll be dreaming of stuff that'll drive my sugar through the roof. Have you ever done that? Dreamed of something and just drive your sugar through the roof?
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've dreamed something so real that I woke up with the taste of what I was eating in my mouth.
Yeah, prophetic dreams are great. Okay, all right. On topic, right? Prophetic dreams, can they be learned?
Yes.
What I mean is, can someone learn how to have a prophetic dream, or does it have to be only natural?
No, I can say this because in the coven that I was in, she would teach us how to dream certain things.
Okay, all right.
For instance, we were all in circle and she said, okay, we're having a dream session tonight. Everybody needs to dream this. And we were like, okay, a field of flowers. And then she would quiz us on what flowers were in the field.
Is that prophetic dream or is that astral? A
I think we
prophetic
all have
dream
it in
is
us.
not astral.
I think we all have it in us to have prophetic dreams. We just don't have the understanding of how to interpret them. And that's
Absolutely.
where the learning comes in.
Absolutely. So it's like any natural ability that you have that we were talking about earlier. You need to look it up, you need to ask questions, you need to find people or a person that you trust to ask those questions. I know that I've received a bunch of emails on I dreamed about this, what do you think? And ladies and gentlemen, I am not a dream interpreter. I can tell you what I think, I can tell you what I see through the shaman guides, but I am absolutely not a dream interpreter. Um, and I know a lot of people who have dream interpretation books. I've seen some of them really pretty good. And I've seen a boatload of them out there that are like a snake charmer. They're as full of shit as a Christmas turkey.
Freud.
Right. But think about it this way, humans have natural abilities. Humans have the capabilities to learn how to dream, to learn what's a dream and what's astral, what's a prophetic dream, and what's just a human dream. All of these things are different. Humans have the ability to learn how to do different forms of magic, and I'm not talking about street trick illusions. I'm talking about actual energy magic. Now, am I going to sit here
My
and tell
favorite
you,
thing to play with.
right? Am I going to sit here and tell you I can move a piece of paper across the table without touching it? I absolutely can. I blow on the damn thing and it moves across the table.
I was fixing to say, yeah, all you gotta do
Cause
is
and
go,
effect.
and it moves.
Right,
Cause and effect.
right. And you know, Debbie says I go by the feel of it. Absolutely. You know, when you're talking about, if you're talking about doing magic, if you're talking about doing energy work, which is what magic is, duh, and you're sitting there calling circle and you're by yourself. It only takes one person to have a circle, right? And you can sit there and you can call your own circle and get inside that energy bubble. You don't have to know the name of what you're doing to be able to do it. You know, well, those of us of the 60s remember the term, if it feels good, do it.
Yeah, right.
Well, I kind of like to add something onto that. If it feels good and it doesn't hurt someone else, do it. Uh,
Well, that throws out about half the community I belong to.
yeah, I did, and now I realize in a lot of situations, common sense is not always very common. And in paganism, just as in any other religion, you have your fundamentalist. Those who think their way is the only way and everybody else is wrong. Well, anybody?
Last time I ran into a fundy, I told him he could pick an anchor on the left side.
Yep, there you go. Um, and Deb absolutely agree. Deb says, but right structure is very helpful. Oh, I'm not saying you don't need to be educated. I'm the first one to tell you, education is a wonderful thing. But do what you do. And I think the most important thing that Open Pagan Church stands for is be who you are. I don't have to agree or disagree with you. I'm a pagan minister, but it's not my job to tell you you're wrong.
And there's people out there that are looking for that.
Yeah, I mean, it's not our job to now. I may be one to tell you I don't agree with what you're doing, but it's your karma. You pay it, not me. I mean, anybody that knows my teaching principles, I will tell a student, I really wouldn't do that because the karma from it's going to be a bitch. But I'll very seldom ever tell anybody no, you're wrong. Don't no. Um, it's not my job. I may disagree with you, but that's fine. And I'm okay agreeing to disagree.
Like you said, be yourself. Be a Popeye. I am what I am. You are what you are.
Right, right. Arr, arr, arr. No.
I am what I am, and that's all that I am.
Right. um, Go ahead.
I like being the comic relief.
Right, right, right. Um, Deb says, I will, but no one listens to me anyway. Yeah, I do. I've been listening to you for 20 years. So, there.
I like it when Dad gives advice.
Mm.
Listen,
you know, be it, a lot of people don't listen to me either, but I do not care. I'm going to say it anyway. So, okay. I think, number one, Sabz, thank you very much for the topic. If anybody else has a topic that they want to cover, if anybody has an old topic they want us to revisit, I mean, our channels are full of videos that we've done years ago, and I try not to repeat topics unless it's a revisit of a topic somebody may want to talk about. PM me on Facebook or on YouTube. You can send me a message on YouTube, or um, if you want to hear or see a topic of one sort or another, um, we'd be glad to take a look at it for you. Cindy, would you post a never-ending invite to Discord, please, in the live chat
there.
of YouTube there? Um, Cindy's going to post a never-expiring invite to our Discord Open Pagan Church chat channel. If you have a topic you want to talk about, reach out to me. Let me know. We'll talk about it. If I'm not available, reach out to one of the other guys and, we'll discuss it. I mean, we don't want anything well, not too crazy. I like crazy. If it's not real politically correct, depending on how we come across with it, it'll probably be alright. We want to hear from you. But again, thank you guys for watching our first live here on YouTube. And thank you, Sabz, for the topic. Folks, we'll see you next time right here on Open Pagan Church. Have a great week and have a great day.